And now, for a presentation sponsored by Beyond Pricing, please welcome the Chief Operating Officer of Beyond Pricing, Julie Brinkman.
Hi, my name is Julie Brinkman, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer here at Beyond Pricing. Beyond Pricing is an all-in-one integrated revenue management system for short-term rental property managers and owners. Our mission is to help short-term rental owners and managers be successful, and we do that by helping them acquire, grow, and keep their revenue. If you're sitting in the audience today, you probably already know what I'm about to tell you. The short-term rental industry is hot. Over the last 5 years, our corner of the travel industry has grown close to 25%, while our colleagues in the airlines and hotels have seen low single-digit growth. And this year, well, that disparity in growth patterns expanded even further. With travelers reluctant to get on planes or gather in crowded resorts, we have seen a 20% increase in short-term rental bookings year over year, as short-term rentals normalized for guests not traditionally in this targeted demographic. The short-term rental trend, which had been gaining steam prior to 2020, took off amidst the background of a global pandemic. And we at Beyond, we believe that the guest market for short-term rentals has fundamentally and permanently expanded. 2020 growth and resilience aside, Beyond Pricing has believed in short-term rentals as a formidable force in travel for years. We were founded over 8 years ago in support of short-term rental owners and managers. And as a growing force in travel, short-term rental owners and managers need to understand what they're up against. Multi-billion-dollar global hotel and hospitality organizations that have been operating for decades using cutting-edge systems and technologies. And if you, as a short-term rental owners and managers, want to compete against these behemoths, you need to have access to and utilize a similar grade of technology, but made especially for your market. And it all starts with a cohesive revenue management system. At its core, as I'm sure the audience is aware, revenue management encompasses the practices, theories, and tools needed to grow revenue. It starts with a dynamic pricing strategy and includes market analytics, sound distribution methodology, and effective and marketing merchandising of inventory. Today, we're going to focus our attention on the how and why of dynamic pricing, the value of taking action with market data, and the balance between wide distribution and capturing guest demand. Let's start with dynamic pricing. The term is simple enough in and of itself. And many short-term rental owners and managers may think that by pricing 4 to 5 seasons and increasing prices over holidays, they have a dynamic pricing strategy. But I have bad news. That's not dynamic pricing. Dynamic pricing is the ability to automatically understand and respond to not just historical, but real-time supply and demand changes, and not on a weekly or monthly basis, but on a daily basis. Charging higher when demand is greater and charging lower when demand is less. Where pricing 4 to 5 seasons and holidays look like this, dynamic pricing looks like this. Without a dynamic pricing tool, you can see that in certain times you're leaving money on the table, sometimes as much as 40%. And other times you're leaving occupancy on the table because you're not dropping your prices fast enough. And when you use a dynamic pricing tool, not only are you able to immediately respond to changes in supply and demand, you're also able to fill nights and capture demand in between trip gaps. These incremental bookings lead to higher occupancy. Our customers experience about 12 points higher occupancy and ultimately higher revenue. If a higher ADR and more occupancy wasn't enough to convince you that dynamic pricing works, please consider this. Unlike hotels, airlines, car rental agencies, Uber, and even my local restaurant, short-term rental owners and managers cannot simply take their inventory offline to affect demand and prices. Every listing a short-term rental manager has at least one, if not more than one owner, and those owners, they expect return on their investment. Owners are the lifeblood of short-term rental managers. They need to acquire and retain their existing owners if they are to continue to grow as a business. And this is just one of the many ways that short-term rentals differ from hotels, where ownership is centralized. We here at Beyond, we believe that in helping short-term managers grow, we need to help them keep their owners happy. On top of the dynamic pricing tool we recommend that every short-term rental manager use, we also know that they need to be able to quickly and effectively assess the health and performance of their entire portfolio. And for that, we turn to the next pillar of an effective revenue management strategy: market insights and data. With the surge of OTAs, it's never been easier to get an understanding of a market or how certain listings are performing and pricing. There are lots of standalone tools that help short-term rental owners and managers get a better understanding of this. But the trouble is, scraped OTA data, it's not clean. There's no way to know or account for owner or maintenance blocks, and so what might look like high occupancy could just be an extended owner stay. And there's no way of also knowing if that listing up the street is actually performing as well as it seems. I call this the Instagram sheen. And making any strategic decisions based on the Instagram sheen, it's not recommended. That sheen has been known to stay overpriced and go unbooked over New Year's Eve. So when you, as a short-term rental manager, are considering what you need in a market data tool, you need to insist that the data not just be from scrapers, but also from real live connections and integrations. That's a fantastic step one. See your portfolio against market comps, both public and integrated. This market comparison will help you understand your overall performance relative to the market. But as a crucial step two, you also need to be able to drill down to the listing level, because remember, it's all about owners, right? What good does it do you as a short-term rental manager to be up 20% year over year if 30% of your listings are underperforming? You're at risk of losing those owners and seriously damaging your next fiscal year. We believe the ability to quickly identify underperforming listings and take action on those listings immediately with just a click, we believe that that is the key to unlocking the power of market data and insights. Setting the right price at the right time and keeping your owners happy by looking at both listing and portfolio performance are critical pillars in the ultimate revenue management strategy. However, neither one are very much matter if you aren't getting as many eyeballs on your listings as possible. Which brings me to the distribution and demand capture pillar, the last core component of a strong revenue management strategy. As the growth of Airbnb and Vrbo have shown, there is a global appetite for short-term rentals, and the difference between your property going booked or unbooked can often come down to how many eyeballs are on your property. We recommend that short-term managers and owners list their property on the major OTAs, as these players are going to win the SEO game and find you new customers. And maybe experiment with one, maybe two niche travel sites, but no more than that. Because what we also see is that while more channels are better, at a certain point, you'll reach a plateau in bookings increase at about usually 4 to 5 channels. And that makes sense. Managing multiple channels is both time-consuming and can get extremely expensive. And there are also other dynamics that are hard to manage at play, from changing guidelines to cancellation policies. So we suggest starting with a broad distribution strategy, but then capturing that demand from those channels to build your loyal and profitable guest base. Consider the fees that you share with OTAs as your customer or guest acquisition cost, the price you pay to acquire a new guest. But the key is, make sure you don't pay the OTAs to keep that guest. You need to capture this demand and make it your own, whether that's through a streamlined check-in, check-out process or a superior guest experience. Don't ever pay an OTA for that guest again. And this is where short-term rental owners and managers need to take a page directly out of the hotel playbook and ensure they never repay an OTA for a repeat guest. Have a seamless, mobile-friendly, direct booking engine and website. Your direct booking engine is essential for any of you to take advantage of growing and retaining guests profitably. And it is only through that solution that you can run impactful marketing campaigns and understand the true value of your merchandising tactics. So there you have it. The pillars of an essential revenue management strategy: dynamic pricing, happy owners through market insights, and improved profitability through curated distribution and demand capture. The short-term rental industry has been the shining spot of what was an otherwise dark year for travel. And you all have shown not only resilience, but viability and even growth. The incumbents in the travel industry have been paying attention and understand short-term rentals are a true competitive threat. Your recent growth is a double-edged sword and has served as a catalyst for not only mounting resources in opposition to short-term rentals, but also your competitors investing and appropriating resource toward the competing with you. Which is why now it is crucial for you as a short-term rental owner and manager to ensure you're accessing and deploying a revenue management strategy to not just protect what you've built, but to continue to ensure your growth and prosperity. As you consider these foundational elements to establish and enhance your revenue management strategy, I'd like to take the opportunity to offer everyone in the audience the opportunity to use our market data and insights tool at no charge. We believe that you'll be able to start immediately unlocking value for your portfolio and your owners and become one of the thousands of happy short-term rental owners and managers we are proud to call customers. Thank you very much.